Hi Diamond, how you doing? Let's go over the pivots and the Elliott Wave setup. So we have a couple of pivots here. Now this pivot doesn't have waves just yet. We need to take this low first, which might happen very soon. And then we want to see a retracement to the upside, bearish CVD divergences, and then it leads to a potential setup. Of course, we have the bearish CVD divergence here, but the 886 was touched. We also have two pivots here, but these currently have counter divergences because of this bearish CVD divergence, lower high on price, higher high on this CVD. So first you would need to take this high before these pivots can be traded. And then we have the pivot low over here. Price needs to come down. We didn't yet hit the golden pocket, which actually is somewhere here just below the support area. And that is where we want to see bullish CVD divergences, giving us an opportunity. Also, we first want to see the bearish CVD play out anyway, so price taking this low before entering a potential long for a bullish setup, of course. So these are the pivots I'm going to keep an eye on, but it's mainly this one and the high over here, and then potentially this pivot, which is now valid as price took this low for a potential short, or this pivot for a potential long. With regards to Elliott waves, we have this setup here. Right, and yesterday I was moving my stop loss around a little bit based on the information that came in as price moved towards the downside. This is the main support area, as well as then the golden pocket, which is always important support, of course, a golden pocket. So the golden pocket is just below the support area, so arguably the support area is like this area over here. And if price is losing this area, there is not much support left before you're gonna take this low, and then below that we have a daily naked point of control and a range point of control, but preferably we don't actually lose this. So now my stop loss is back to the 886. Very nice. If price moves to the downside here, I'm actually interested in adding, and the reason is we hit the 886. So if price would come down now, then we have a possibility here of a corrective three-wave structure. 886 touch, probabilities are higher to move towards the upside, which means it therefore triggers my interest to look for a long here with the stop loss on top of the 886 or below the low here, and then look for a move towards the upside, or additionally add to the existing position but then move this stop loss to below this low or the 886, right? So that is the luxury that a bigger stop loss gives, is it gives you flexibility in how to approach the chart and how to approach trade management, right? You get many more options. So that is at least something that I am considering. Let's wait and see what price is going to do here. If it does move down, it's definitely an interesting area for a buy for me, because of the 886 touch, higher probability that any move to the downside is corrective, not impulsive, higher probability that this low won't be taken before this high is taken, which therefore gives the opportunity to move towards the upside and then look for potential TP1 here just in case, or look for continuation, right? So that is something that I am considering in this area here. I'm not yet sure if I want to go for a second setup where I risk the same percentage, right, 1%, and then put the stop loss at the 886 or the low, or if I want to add to my existing position and risk 1% instead of 2%. So I actually think that I would prefer adding to the existing position, still continue to risk 1%, but move the stop up. If price is going to hit this area, then I can always enter a new setup down here if we see what we want to see and we see some proof of support and la-di-la-di-la, and then a new setup can be entered here with the stop loss below the low. So yeah, let's see what price gives us. Of course, would like to see a bit of proof of support. If, however, we see a setup with the pivot, a pivot and the Elliott Wave setup are not related. So if we see a setup over here with this pivot low and price hitting the golden pocket, then I will enter a setup. But then I won't, I don't prefer then adding to my existing Elliott Wave setup, because else I'm going to have a trade where I risk 2% for the same trade, right? In both cases, the stop loss is going to be somewhere down here. So if we get a setup, I will enter the setup, the main CVD setup, but not add to Elliott Waves. If we don't have a setup, it might be interesting from an Elliott Wave perspective. If price is first moving up and then moving down, Same idea, but I of course always like to see a little bit of proof of support, as I don't catch knives. So I will always wait to see what price does locally, a little bit of a range, and then I'm always open to, you know, enter whenever I like to. So that being said, that is what I'm going to keep an eye on today. Let's see what we get. Final day before the weekend hits. So I'm going to catch you in the group.